best coaches of this generation because you thought that he was too hip-hop? Oh, okay. So what you really meant is that he doesn't talk like you. He doesn't look like you. He doesn't sound like you or your friends. These owners are afraid, Bills fans. These owners are afraid. And that's for NFL fans. That's for the Mafia, Nickel City Crew, NFL fans. The owners are afraid. How can you have a league of 70% black people but afraid that the black people, and thinking so highly of yourselves and the people that you know, and the nepotism and the passed down and the names and the last names are passed down, that you don't think that they can lead the team? You're literally cutting off some of your own candidates because of your own ignorance. Money is the only thing that they pay attention to. It's why they are the big $15 billion behemoth that they are now. They're not stopping. We still love football in this country, so it's not going to go anywhere. And it's up to you as fans if you want to consume it or not. I consume it. I love the Bills. I was disappointed. I have friends, black and brown friends, who were extremely disappointed after the Colin Kaepernick thing and said that they were going to go ahead and, boycott the league and stop watching the league. And I understood where they were coming from. I didn't get there because I never expected anything different. So I'm not going to stop watching the Bills because the NFL and the owners and the fans are acting as if they're going along to protocol. Nothing was out of the ordinary. No one wanted to talk about the black people and the brown people that were dying by police brutality in the streets. Everyone wanted to talk about if he was being disrespectful to the flag. So it's easier to change the narrative to the flag than actually talk about the black and brown people that were dying, that were being killed. That's way easier. So as we wrap up, I'll give you something that's way easier. Something that you might care about. What's up with Stephen Ross? If he truly offered Brian Flores $100,000 per loss to help in their efforts to get a higher draft pick, but worse record, a lower record, a worse record to get the higher draft pick for Joe Burrow or whoever, how does that not affect gambling? How does that not affect the integrity of the league? Didn't the league pretend forever that they didn't want to get involved in gambling? They didn't want to go hand in hand with gambling? And then eventually the money, which is what they care about, the money became too great. Hell yeah, we'll put a team out in Vegas. Hell yeah, yep, sure, we'll put a team in Vegas. Yes, you can start gambling. Yes, we'll partner up with MGM. Yes, we'll partner up with Caesars. Let's get JB Smooth. We'll do Caesars commercials. We're all Caesars. They want you to gamble. They love that you gamble on the games. They knew that you were gambling on the games before it was legal. Now they're in bed. Isn't that funny? Now they're right in hand with those casinos, with those sports books, ready to take your money. The competitive balance of the league could be shaken if what Brian Flores alleges is true. And for all the people on Twitter and all the people that are hating and saying, oh, he's lying about it, do you think that he would not have any type of receipts? Do you think he would try to embarrass himself more by making false claims with no type of evidence whatsoever to back up his claims? Maybe. I doubt it, personally. But maybe I'm giving him more credit than you do. I think it's something to watch. I think it's something to keep an eye on, especially when it comes to the gambling. New York State just opened up DraftKings, and it's legal to gamble in New York State. and it's extending around the country, and eventually there will be all 50 or at least the continental 48. You'll be able to gamble all across this country very, very soon in every state. They love the money. They love the prestige. They love the TV deals. All of it. The NFL is a business. Don't forget, this is an entertainment business. It's much like Vince McMahon, except the actors that are paid are not scripted. So Vince McMahon has his scripted actors, and the NFL has their paid actors. They are not scripted games, which is what leads me back to that point. If Brian Flores has proof that Stephen Ross said it, and he said it in front of other people just other than Brian Flores, and other people can corroborate his story, that's a big deal. If the Dolphins are playing the Bengals and it's Dolphins +7, I might have lost some money that day, right? And I don't want to get into the weeds of tanking and stuff like that. Listen, the coaches are always trying to win. The players are always trying to win. We already know that. And everybody should already know that, especially Buffalo Bills fans and Buffalo fans in general. The Nickel City crew, Nickel City is Buffalo. So we should definitely know that as Sabres fans. Ted Nolan wasn't trying to lose and all that. Listen, the players try to play. They try to win. The coaches try to coach the players to win the best of their abilities. But if the general manager and above the owner are giving you bad products, they're giving you soiled groceries to cook with, the meal's going to taste pretty shitty. If they give you rotten vegetables, they give you it's going to be a bad meal. It's not going to be what it should taste like. The product on the ice, the product on the field, the product on the court, it's not going to be the same if they're giving you bad ingredients to work with. And if Stephen Ross deliberately gave Brian Flores bad ingredients to work with, then it's still Brian's job to try to win the games. But if he gave him bad ingredients to work with, on top of offering and incentivizing him to lose games, that's a different story. The Hugh Jackson, situation is not an exact parallel. Hugh Jackson, it sounds like, from what his allegations are, and he says he's got receipts as well, is that he was given bonuses, basically. Hey, great job. 1 in 15, excellent work. Here's an extra $300K. It would have been up to Hugh Jackson to give back that money. Why am I getting an extra bonus? What did I do? Nothing. You just executed the plan, Hugh. We knew we were going to be bad. We gave you bad groceries this year. We knew you were going to be bad. Great job. Here's a little bonus. Here's a little kick. That's what Hugh Jackson's talking about. Brian Flores is different. We've got an owner allegedly offering him, incentivizing him to lose. And that does affect gambling. And that is something that you might care about. And I know the owners care about because they just started this venture with the casinos. They're loving the daily fantasy. They're loving the fact that New York just opened up their gambling. They're loving all of it. They can't wait for a big 2022. And Brian Flores potentially threw a stick in the mud. He may not win his lawsuit. He probably won't. But I do feel like he shed some light on some of the underbelly of the NFL. It is the He-Man Woman Haters Club. Look at their owners. Look at what they do. Look at how they operate. They do not care. After the Colin Kaepernick thing, they blackballed the man out of the league, and then they put inspire change and stop racism in the end of the end zones. If you look up the definition of the word disingenuous in the dictionary, it might as well be a picture of the NFL. So you blackball them out of the league, wouldn't let him get another job because he caused too much of a stir, but now you care about social justice? I watched the NFL Honors last night. They had a whole segment with LaDainian Tomlinson praising the league on their social justice initiatives. inspire change. It rings hollow to a black man. It rings hollow to a black man that's an NFL fan. And there are more of me out there. There's lots of me out there, actually, to be honest. I didn't boycott the league after Colin Kaepernick. I love the Bills. Doesn't make the situation any less sad. I just knew what it was. Of course everybody's going to be talking about the flag. Because that's easier than talking about Ahmaud Arbery or some other person that has been killed. Philando Castile. Who wants to talk about that? Kick off the ball. I always used to say, right after the Colin Kaepernick, why are we even doing the anthem in the beginning of the game? What's the point? Who cares? What is this, high school? What is this, middle school? What is this, grade school? Why do we have to do the Pledge of Allegiance every morning? They do that in school. Why do we have to do that before every game? We know that we're in America. We know that this is an American sport, but they do it in all the American sports. You play the anthem before the game. And in hockey, they play the Canadian anthem as well. It's pointless. So I knew that everybody was going to change the narrative and move the goalpost, pun intended. And that's exactly what happened. Nobody wanted to talk about what he was speaking about, why he kneeled. And it's the same way. Nobody's going to talk about Brian Flores and about why he started this lawsuit. But boy, if we find out that he has some receipts on what Stephen Ross has been accused of, all the ears will perk up. All the ears will perk up. Because now we're talking about money. Now we're talking about money that we're gambling, that we're betting on games. And if it's not fair, that's a problem for an entertainment business. That's not WWE. The NFL is not fake, right? They tell us it's not fake, it's not predetermined, and the refs don't have it out on certain teams and this and that. So to uphold that status, you better have some type of transparency, and you better have a fair playing field. But the NFL is acting on brand, so don't be confused by it. They are on brand. Which is why this episode made me sad to have to even do. I can't wait to come up and do the Super Bowl preview. We got that coming up on Sunday, and I'm wrapping this up, to be honest, because I am tired. As a black man in America who happens to be a sports fanatic, this is all tired. This is all old. This is all old news. When Brian Flores came out with this on February 1st, it was old when he came out with it. Black coaches have already felt this way. They already knew they were going to interviews they had no chance to get. They already knew that they were being pandered to. That's what the Rooney Rule made it to be. And you're never going to change it. You cannot force a company owner to hire someone, and I understand that. I'm a small business owner. I get it. You couldn't force me to hire someone if I didn't want to hire that person. If I don't think that they're right for the job, I'm not going to hire them. But the problem is that these owners are not even finding and vetting and finding out if these guys are really right for the job. They don't look like me. They don't talk like me. They don't talk like any of my friends. They don't look like any of the people that I'm around. And I don't trust them. And some don't even think that they are even as competent. Literally, some owners don't think that black people are as competent. It's the same thing with the quarterback talk back in the day. Ironically, the Buffalo Bills quarterback James Harris is the first black quarterback to start in the NFL. Look him up as well. James Harris, number 12, the original number 12 for the Bills. Before Ferguson, before Kelly, was James Harris. And he bounced around the league, and we've got Doug Williams, and down the list they go, and Warren Moon, and Donovan McNabb, and And what are they? We're all